Today we are going to work on adding mixed numbers. Brenda mixes sand with 2 7/8 cups of potting mixture to prepare soil for her plant. After mixing them together, how many cups of soil does Brenda have? So, we look over here, she has 1 3/8 cups of sand. Since she is mixing them together, we know that we need to add. So we're going to find 2 7/8 plus 1 3/8 by breaking up our mixed numbers, just like we did yesterday. So I'm going to do this work down here, okay? So first we need to add 2 7/8 plus 1 3/8. Now I know we've been doing them up and down, but we're going to do it this way just because it's easier to see on the iPad and on your computer. So first you're going to add the whole numbers. So we have 2 and 1. So 2 plus 1 we know is 3. Now we're going to add the fractional parts. So the fractional parts, we have 7/8 and 3/8. So we're just going to add 7/8 plus 3/8. And 7/8 plus 3/8 is going to be 10/8. So we end up with 3 and 10/8. Well, now we know that we cannot leave it like that because 10/8 is an improper fraction. So we're going to take our 3, which is right here, and we're going to add it to our new mixed number because we're going to change 10/8. And when we change it, we say to ourselves, how many times does 8 go into 10? Well, the answer is 1. Leave your denominator the same, and then find the difference. Since 8 times 1 is 8, 10 minus 8 is 2. So we end up with 1 2/8. Now we just have to add those parts together. So 3 plus 1 is 4 and 2/8. And if you're going to reduce it even more, you know that 2 and 8 are both even numbers. So this is going to equal 4. If we divide both sides by 2, we're going to end up with 1/4. Let's do the guided practice together. If Brenda adds 1 1/8 cups of peat moss to her soil in the problem on the previous page, we want to find out how much soil does Brenda have now. Well, she ended up in the last part with 4 2/8. I'm going to use it before we changed it because now we're going to be adding onto it 1 1/8. And if we add these together, I know that 4 plus 1 is 5, and then just add the fractional parts. So 2/8 plus 1/8 is 3/8. And we don't have to reduce or change anything because you cannot reduce 3/8 and it is a proper fraction. All right, number 2. Use another strategy to find the sum of 4 2/8 plus 1 1/8. We're going to go ahead and just cross that one off. All right, number 3. We're doing 1 7/8 plus 1 2/8. I may have to extend this on 2 pages, but I will have all the work down for you. All right, so we're going to add it. We're going to go to the right like we've been practicing. So draw a line. First, add your whole numbers. So we have 1 and 1, which is 2. And then add your fractional parts. So 7/8 plus 2/8 is just 9/8. Okay, we cannot leave 9/8 because it is an improper fraction. So we're going to draw a line. I'm going to use a different color since it's another step. So we're going to write our whole number and add a plus sign. And we're going to fix 9/8. So how many times does 8 go into 9? Well, once. Your denominator stays the same, so it will be 8. And then since 1 times 8 is 8, 9 minus 8 is 1. So we end up with 1 1/8. Now we can just add it together. 2 plus 1 is 3 and 1/8. And there's your answer. All right, let's do number 4. So number 4, we have 2 and 4/10 plus 5 and 5/10. Some of them you will not have to do this extra step right here. Some of them you will be able to do it without reducing. If you're watching this and paying attention, write a little smiley face up at the top of the page right where I am. There we go. All right, so we have 2 plus 5 is 7. That's our whole numbers. And then 4/10 plus 5/10 is just 9/10. You don't have to do anything else with this problem. I'm going to go onto a blank page to continue showing the work. Make sure that you're doing this work in your math notebook. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 5. So on number 5, we have 4 and 2/3 plus 1 and 2/3. Okay, I'm going to draw a line to separate that. It's going to be a next step. First, add the whole numbers and the fractions. So we end up with 5 and 4/3. Well, since 4/3 is an improper fraction, we need to fix it. So we're going to write our whole number plus, how many times does 3 go into 4? Once. Write your denominator the same. And now, since 3 times 1 is 3, 4 minus 3 is 1. So our final answer is going to be 6 and 1/3. Moving on to number 6. We have 6 and 5/12 plus 4 and 11/12. Okay? All right. Add your whole number and your fractional parts. 6 plus 4 is 10. And then 5 plus 11 is 16/12. Well, we cannot leave 16/12, so I'm going to put our whole number. 12 goes into 16 one time. Keep 12 as your denominator. 12 times 1 is 12. 16 minus 12 is 4. So our answer for this one is 5 and 4/12. And then 4 and 12 are both a factor of 4. So we can divide both sides by 4. Don't forget your whole number. 4 divided by 4 is 1, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. All right. I'm going to draw lines here to separate them. Let's go on to number 7. So 7, we have 2 and 1/3 plus 2 and 1/3. So 2 and 1/3 plus 2 and 1/3. If we add these up, 2 plus 2 is 4 and 2/3. And you can just leave it just like that. And number 8. So number 8, 8 and 9/12 plus 5 and 5/12. Okay, draw your line. 8 plus 5 is 13. 9 plus 5 is 14/12. We cannot leave it like that, so write your whole number plus 12 goes into 14 one time. Put your same denominator. 12 times 1 is 12. 14 minus 12 is 2. Now we just add them together. So we're going to end up with 14 and 2/12. Since 2 and 12 are even numbers, write your whole number. Divide both sides by 2, and you would get 1/6. All right. On your notebook, in the top right-hand corner, draw another smiley face. This will just show me that you are paying attention and that you're listening and you're thinking while you're working. It tells you on numbers 9 and 10, it tells you some ideas to help you come up with the fractions and what to do with the steps, go ahead and do the even numbers only on page 515 and then come show me when you are done.